Guys, how's it going? MasterBucks here. Welcome to another episode and a brand new season of the Wolves career mode. I'm addressing you guys really quick because we're going to make just a couple of changes to go over. We've done 5 straight full proper seasons of this career mode and I think it's time that we brought it to a close, but I really have been putting so much into this. It's the only career mode that I've done since FIFA 19 came out and I want to give it a good send-off. I want to go all the way to the end. Pretty much that means there are 10 seasons left to play. I'm going to play all 10 of those seasons in one episode each. I'm going to do most of it post-com. We'll play a couple of games here or there, maybe like one every month. And for all the big games like the cup finals, the league deciders and all that, I'm going to be playing live, green screen as per usual. And the rest, we're pretty much just going to do post-commentary. That's how I've got it all planned out, and that is how it's going to go all the way to the end of the series. And just before we get underway with this one, everyone, I want to let you know of another giveaway that I'm doing thanks to Foot United. As I'm sure you all know by now, it is indeed Chinese New Year. And thanks to Foot United, I'm going to be selecting 3 winners to get their very own jersey. I had mine come through not too long ago. It doesn't look too bad, and it's even got my name on the back of it. It's a pretty fancy looking kit, and if you want to enter the giveaway to win one of these for yourselves, then all you have to do is this. Go to footunited.com, the link to which will be in the description down below. You can sign up using Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you're going to use to post to enter the giveaway. Once you've gone ahead and signed up, I want you to tell me, since it is Chinese New Year and it is a time for gift giving, what player would you give to one of your friends in FIFA Ultimate Team? If you could gift one player in Ultimate Team, any player at all, to a friend, who would it be? They can be as good a player or as low rated a player as you want. Maybe you've got a mate that's a big Barca fan, you'd give him Team of the Year Messi. Maybe your mates have been roasting you a bit too hard in the group chat, so you give them a bronze card. I don't know, it's up to you. Just whenever you do enter the giveaway, whatever you use, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, just be sure to use these 2 hashtags. Hashtag FootAU and hashtag EA Contest. If you don't use those hashtags, your entry is not submitted. But that is that. Best of luck to everyone entering the giveaway, and now let's get right back into it. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into Season 6 then. As you can see, the starting 11, quite familiar. Still the same front 3, still the same midfield trio, except for Ndombele, who has joined us at CDM. Neves moved up to centre midfield. Johnny and the usual back 4 as well. Oblak in goal. We've got Sharpend here is still our reserve goalkeeper, our bench goalkeeper. At some point, I feel like he'll even overtake Jan Oblak, but Akanji's there, Walker Peters. We've got Jan de Groot, Yassin Adli at an 85, Sessegnon at an 86, and another player that we got on a pre-contract, Rafael Leao, 84 rated. He'll be my backup striker. We'll see him from time to time. And take a look at my reserves. Just full of 18, 19, 20, 21, 22-year-old youth academy players that I've been bringing in to the side pretty much over the course of the entire 5 seasons of this career mode so far. And honestly, we're set. If we're only going to go for 10 more seasons, we could probably go with just that core group, but I'm probably still going to look to, scout a little bit more. As you can see, I'm bringing a couple of scouts out, and we're still going to be looking for talent, but I could probably survive just off that alone. With that being said, I'll still make a couple of transfers here or there, but I'm more than likely going to just stick with the core group of players that we have right now, bring in youth academy players, develop them up, and that's pretty much about that. But anyway, we'll get into now the first game of the season. We're going to go maybe 1 game every single month, keeping it at a pretty good pace. I want this thing to go for at least about the same amount of time that all my previous episodes have been, about 20, 25, 30 minutes. Maybe the first 1 or 2 might go over a bit, but still, regardless, this first game, as you can see, is going to be the the FA Community Shield. After we won the Premier League, we missed out in, unfortunately, the FA Cup. Hopefully we can maybe go and win that competition this season. That'd be sweet. But Mbappe through here, looking to create an opening. He's just getting surrounded by Everton blue shirts. A 1-2 here. Talisca with the opening. And right now I'm just blowing all my shots wide, and it's getting a little bit frustrating. But as we are approaching half-time, we get one more break. Going into stoppage time, Mbappe this time, he just turns in a bit too much, and it's just been solid defense. This Everton team have a really incredible back 4, if I can remember. Off memory, I remember them having some pretty insane names like The Light. Theo Hernandez was a new one. They've got Hector Bellerin. So they had fullbacks that were more than capable of dealing with my very dangerous wingers of Mbappe, Sane, and even Tim Weah wasn't getting that much attention or wasn't getting that much of the ball. And it was a really even contest. Everton in the second were really starting to look dangerous. What is that for a cross? Absolutely ridiculous. First time volley cross, bang on the money. And then thankfully the header ended up hitting the crossbar. Good, or not the crossbar, the post. Good thing it did, because we failed to score in that game, and this thing had to go all the way to penalties. So the first piece of silverware we're going to have to go through a penalty shootout to get. And Bellerin stepped up first. He put his shot wide. And then Tim Weah has a penalty. He hits the post. So both teams missing their first penalty. Not ideal for us. Not ideal for Everton either. But at least they finally get one in. Hopefully we can do the same with Leroy Sané. And it's saved by Pickford. Was on target but stopped. And now Cengiz Under with a chip into the left-hand side of the net. And that was that. They take the advantage. It is a 2-1 now. It is now a 2-1 advantage for them. We finally were able to score. But a save from Jan Oblak maybe gives us a little bit of a opportunity. But Pickford again with another save. And now we need Jan Oblak to step up and to make this save, or for Julian Brandt to miss. If he does, we're still in this contest and we go the wrong way. Jan Oblak, unfortunately, gets duped, and that is that. And Everton win the Community Shield. Again, it's a meaningless trophy. I don't even know why I played this game. It's completely pointless. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not salty. I'm not triggered. But yes, Everton win the Community Shield, but that's all right. There's still plenty more silverware to be won. We've still got the Premier League. We're looking to go back to back to back to back. 4-time winners in a row. How incredible would that be? We're looking to win the FA Cup. We're looking to win the Carabao Cup. Champions League we're still in as well. There's tons still more to come. So again, as we advance forward, like I showed you before prior to, we have been sending scouts away to, I think it was off the top of my head, England, Belgium, and maybe France? Argentina, that's right. So England, Belgium, and Argentina. We'll see if we can find some talent in there. So far, we were coming up with a couple of okay names, and we'll still hopefully get plenty more down the track, but we're basically just simulating month by month. I'll play the odd game here or there, as I've mentioned, but we got to deadline day, and as you can see, $500 million spent. We didn't really do any transfer activity in the first window, but that might change, and I can guarantee you it almost definitely will change in the January transfer window, because there's maybe one or two places in my starting 11 that, even though everyone in my starting 11 is sick, over at least 80 or 83, there might be some areas that could do with improving over others. But you can see our Champions League group here: Wolves, Schalke, Sevilla, and FC Basel. It's a bit of an interesting group. It's a somewhat strong group, but I reckon we should be able to get out of that. Maybe with, I think, Schalke or Sevilla, one of those two clubs. I think they're both capable of getting out, but this was our first game in the Champions League against FC Basel. The away, playing against them away first to start the group, and you know what? I just wanted to get the first Champions League out the way since, we made it all the way to the final. Unfortunately, went down to Real Madrid. I think it was 3-0 in the end. It wasn't pretty. I didn't play well. I very well could have changed the course of the game had I buried a sitter I had in the first 5 minutes, but couldn't manage it. But I wasn't taking any. I wasn't messing around at all in this Champions League campaign, scoring the first goal within the first 10 minutes. The captain Neves, and it's the first goal that I've scored anyway of this new series. Obviously, we've simmed a little bit now, but I failed to score against Everton. Finally, we hit the back of the net. Hopefully, we'll be able to carry it on again as we immediately make that save, and immediately on the counter-attack, Sane was looking to carve up an opening and try to get it to Talisca. Finally, he got the chance, and the shot, it's not that great. It was right at the keeper, and it was a bit of a weak effort too, so it was maybe not easily saved, but saved regardless. And then Basel going up the other end, getting a shot off. Oblak making a brilliant reflex save there to keep it at 1-0. And I'm trying to work it for Weah, trying to work it for Mbappe. Finally, we get the chance to him. Bit of an awkward finish, but 2-0. And there we go. It looked like we were well on our way to winning our first Champions League game and getting off to a good start in the group. But Basel, not necessarily going away. They were still having their chances, but a big tackle from Ndombele, my replacement for N'Golo Conte. A brilliant cross swinged in by Mbappe to his opposite winger in Leroy Sané. 3-0, and that pretty much was about that. We were able to win our first Champions League game. It was a good start, of course. Still plenty more games left to go. We have to at least get out the group. And, I'm trying to win. I'm trying to win every single trophy possible. And at the end of every single one of these episodes and at the end of every season, we're going to be taking a look at all the titles that I've won so far. And then pretty much just at the end of every episode, we'll update to see how much silverware I've won. I'm hoping by the end of this career mode that maybe I'll be sitting on something like 8 or 9 Premier League. How decent would it be to win 10 titles of maybe 10-time Premier League winners? That'd be ridiculous, but something like that. I don't know. I want a stack of trophies by the end of this career. But We'll see how we go. The first 8 games went pretty well for us. We were the only team undefeated in the Premier League with 7 wins and just the 1 draw, but we were sitting on 22 points, so that wasn't too bad as we continued advancing forward into the month of October. Again, we were still looking to find supreme talent, and we got Augustin Cuesta along with a couple of others. Argentina were actually pulling out a couple of pretty decent names, to be fair. So we were bringing in quite a fair few, both English and Argentinian players, but sadly, Belgium wasn't exactly doing it for us. But regardless, we were top of the group after 4 games, and it looked like we were going to go through relatively comfortably. So I felt fine with just simming the rest of the games in the Champions League, getting all the way through pretty much to 2024. We are really flying in this career mode. But before we went there was one team that I wanted to play, and that was Southampton. Even though in real life they very well could be going down this season, they're definitely at risk of that happening. In this career mode season, they were actually doing quite decently, and I really wanted to see what this team was like, because they were probably about as big a threat to our title hopes at this stage of the season as like Manchester United were. I'm pretty sure Southampton were like 2nd or 3rd at this point, but yeah, it was crazy. So it was really just ourselves, Southampton and Manchester United that looked like they were going to win this Premier League title. But in the end, we were getting chances pretty easily against this Southampton side. I'd failed to bury 2 absolutely glorious opportunities, one with Weah and then that one with Yander Groot, which was pathetic. And then another shot that hit the post, bounced back to Sane. He had a go. He did have a defender right in his way, but he missed it as well, going into the side netting. It was not a pretty first half, and Southampton making massive defensive mistakes, and again another shot, saved once more. Their goalkeeper was having a pretty good day, even though I was, missing the target like crazy. And then another cross brought in. Oblak hadn't had to do that much today, but he was able to make the save there. Lacazette brought into the game, or whatever. And then we ended up turning over the ball, or at least we ended up getting the ball back. Southampton turned over the ball. We brought on Rafael Leão, who got a chance going right up the middle, tucked it underneath the goalkeeper with 10 minutes to go. I don't know if Southampton are going to stay with us all the way when it comes to this title race, but halfway into it, they were up there. We get a big goal. That is a really poor clearance. And then they get a chance, one last chance at the very end of the game to make me sneak a point and to rob us of 2. But they couldn't manage it. Oblak didn't have much to do in the game, but every time a shot was on taken at his goal, he was able to stand up and make the big saves. And in the end, he rescued us and kept us the 3 points, which was fantastic, and kept us the clean sheet. But continuing on now into January, you could see there maybe really briefly that we ended up getting Liverpool in the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. But take a look at this. Billy Collins, $1.1 million worth of value for a goalkeeper. That is sick, and his potential was awesome. But yes, Liverpool we did get in the Carabao Cup semi-finals. Manchester United and Leicester City were the other semis, so we were going to see what was going to happen with them. But at the exact halfway point of the Premier League, we were on 39 points, Manchester United a point behind. Southampton started to drop off a bit, and Leicester City were also starting to come into the mix as well when it came to this title. But regardless, we were on top. We had Mbappe on 16 goals, absolutely flying, miles ahead of everyone else, or the next best goal scorer. And he was even the leading assister as well. Yacine Adli, Neves, Sane. It was all getting shared around pretty decently. But of course, being in the transfer window, I decided to go in and make one signing and one signing only. It's a love-hate relationship I have with Johnny, but I thought he was okay for me so far this season. But he was, compared to all the mid to high 80 rated players in my starting 11, him only being 83, he kind of stood out in the team. So I decided to get a slightly higher rated left back. Ended up going with a guy that some of you blokes have actually been trying to get me to sign quite a fair bit. It is Kieran Tierney. So 85 rated now is what he's at. Nice and well-rounded with his stats. For a bloke that's 85 rated, though, I maybe would expect him to be a little higher with most of his stats, but it's fine. I ended up going with him, and we will now move on into the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. The first leg was the away leg, but we simmed it. We managed to get a win. Bradley Price, again, I don't know what it is about that guy, but every time he plays, he seems to score. I want to give him more game time, but the fact that he's still so lower overall compared to the rest of the team, or the rest of the team in the starting 11, I don't know, but we had to give him a game because Mbappe, unfortunately, was injured. So we just chucked him in there. He did well for us. Mbappe came back from injury for the second leg, and we ended up winning that one as well, 4-2. So it was a 6-2 win on aggregate. We also got Liverpool in the FA Cup as well. And spoilers, I'm pretty sure they actually got their revenge because they knocked us out of the FA Cup. You'll see it pretty soon, but that was pretty much that. The only transfer that we made was Kieran Tierney. We sold a couple of maybe somewhat deadwood players that weren't getting an awful lot of action, but that is pretty much about it. We then move on into the Premier League once again for Manchester United at the Molineux, and it's again another big game because we realistically think Manchester United are going to be the team that surely, if it isn't going to be us, it would be them. I know Southampton, I know Leicester City were up there, but it's got to be Manchester United who are legit our biggest rivals to the title. An attempted tackle didn't really go too well for, I think it was Alexander-Arnold. It might have been maybe Lopez Vergara. I'm not quite sure, but he allowed Rashford to go through, who crossed in a beauty. It was headed in by, I believe, maybe Gonzalo Guedes, but we ended up going down that same wing, playing it back to Adley, crossing it in, and at the back stick, it was Anderson Talisca who got the header onto it, but again, we hit the woodwork. Unfortunately, they didn't, so they scored from their cross, and Mbappe, tight angle, he probably got played through, and the angle was made a lot tighter than it needed to be, but he somehow finds a way to just get it past De Gea, got into the net. It's an absolutely awful celebration, and then, oh my goodness, from distance, I think Amiri that is, with an absolute rip schnorrer from outside the box. That would have been unbelievable, but thankfully for us it didn't go in. Sane across into Mbappe. I've been getting a lot of goals like that recently, but that's a big one because that takes us ahead of Manchester United. This could be a massive 3 points. It's a 6-pointer, isn't it? Denying them points, getting ourselves another 3, hopefully getting away from them in the title. That would be huge. And the rest of the game, it ended up being a bit of a back and forth affair, but right at the death, Tim Weah finally ends it. 3-1 victory, and that was that. We ended up taking home the 3 points. Manchester United lose, and we get a big push in our Premier League title defence. Of course, we're trying to go, like I've said before, 4 in a row. Never been done in the Premier League era. I'm very certain of that. And I almost know for a fact that 4 in a row it's never been won 4 times in a row, the Premier League. And maybe in the history of English top flight football, I don't think one club has won the highest league 4 times in a row. But anyway, we'll move on from the Premier League to the Champions League. We had Wolfsburg in the round of 16. We drew the away leg, so at least there we are winning, or we're up on away goals with the advantage. But we, of course, too, had the Carabao Cup before we could play the second leg of the Champions League round of 16. So we ended up getting into the Carabao Cup. I was going to play this game live with green screen, but to be honest, the Carabao Cup, for some weird reason, it doesn't register with me as being the big domestic cup. You know, it's the FA Cup, really. If you win the League Cup, it's cool, but really the FA Cup's the one that you want to win out of all the English domestic cups. So if we make it to the FA Cup final, I'll let you know. But again, I did just tell you that we were knocked out by Liverpool, but still, Wolves did end up getting the first goal within 5 minutes. It was a save from an Mbappe shot that thankfully went right to Tim Weah. Lopez Vergara with 1 block, and then a follow-up block to deny Lukaku. Wait till you see the replay on this. He gets in the way of it twice. This one comes right off of his face, putting his body on the line brilliantly there. Kieran Tierney appreciates it anyway. But after we got our goal, I tell you what, Manchester United were coming at us. But what a save from Jan Oblak there. Thankfully, Rashford put it straight to him. I don't know if he was able to make the save if it was any further away from his body. Surely not, but brilliant to get it. Weah is now trying to squeeze home the most unthinkable of goals. He went for a bicycle kick then before the corner, but Anderson Talisca ends up getting a chance. He fires it past David De Gea. We're now 2-0 in front in what's been a pretty close affair. I don't think I'd been the team on top by a good margin, but we were the team that was thankfully up and had the breathing space. Now David De Gea pulling out some big stops, and he needed to. If that goal went in, it pretty much would have been game over, but he kept the minute. Pulisic with a cross into Paul Pogba. He's been in such incredible goal scoring form as of late. Now even in this career mode he's popping up. A big goal to keep them in it with 10 minutes to go. They had to get something in the remaining 10 or so, and they just couldn't do it. We were able to get the ball back. They threw it away quite literally to us, and that was that. We survived a late scare, but that is the first piece of silverware of this season. We end up taking home the Carabao Cup. That is our second League Cup title of this career mode now. I think we've won the FA Cup twice. We might have only won it once, maybe. I'm not sure. We will have a look at the end of this episode how many titles I've won specifically. But there you go. We won the Carabao Cup. You bloody beauty. Moving on into the quarterfinals, of course, we did end up getting past Wolfsburg relatively easily, to be fair. We ended up getting Atletico in the quarterfinals. But have a look at Stoke City. Stoke City facing Dortmund. How in the world has that happened? Stoke City last season only just managed to sneak into the top 4. Now they've made it all the way to the quarterfinals. It's unbelievable. They're 8th at the moment right now. There's no way they're going to make Champions League again. But as you can see, we were still top, only by a slim margin. We did get knocked out, like I've been saying, by Liverpool in the 4th round of the FA Cup, 3-0. And now into the Champions League. And this is what we're really focusing on. Yes, the Premier League title race is close, but I want to see if we can make it to the final here. We drew 1-1 again, the away leg, so we have that away goal advantage. Moving straight into the second leg as well against Atletico. We need to get a win, or we need to get at least a draw, and thankfully we ended up doing even better than that, a 3-0 victory. That means it's 4-1 on aggregate. We go on through to the semi-finals. I wonder if Stoke City have made it through. It would be a madness if they have. Surely not. Surely Dortmund have. And they did, of course. We ended up drawing them as well. Imagine if Stoke City did somehow manage to get past Dortmund and it was Stoke City versus Wolves in the semi-finals of the Champions League. What in the world how the hell could that have happened? But yeah, in the end it didn't. We drew with Dortmund. And yeah, we will now face them in the semi-finals. It's once again, it's a trend, isn't it? We always play the away leg first. We were getting off to a bit of a meh start. And to be honest, it ended up not going too well for us. We ended up losing the first leg 1-0, which means we had it all to play for in the second. Otherwise, we would come so close to the final and just fall short. And for this one, I just wanted to just let it go. I wasn't going to skip or do anything. Weah scored within the first 2 minutes, which was great. But if Dortmund scored again, they go up on away goals and we would need to win the game outright. So this is what I was concerned about. I really wanted to see that second goal pop up and we got it. But even now, if we concede another one, it's still just going to mean 2-2 on aggregate. They've got the away goal. They go through. So we needed a third, and Mbappe stepped up and gave it to us. Now I was feeling a lot more confident. And Dortmund, we kept a clean sheet against them in the second leg at home. 3-0 victory, and we go through to the final of the Champions League. And yes, we will be playing that live with green screen, of course. Wolverhampton Wanderers, top of the Premier League as well. Not by a big margin, only by 4 points, and Manchester United with a game in hand. Down toward the bottom of the table, it looked like the relegation teams had pretty much all been sorted. Fulham maybe with a minor chance of surviving, but that was that. We have Watford to play in the Premier League. All we need for that one is just to win, like really. And even Manchester United, to be honest, could draw and we could fail to pick up points and that'd be fine. But just because it isn't completely mathematically over, I'm going to play that game against Watford. Going to hopefully see out this 4th straight Premier League victory. Can you believe it? And hopefully, once we do that and once we seal the Premier League, again, hopefully we can take it to whoever we've got in the Champions League final. So, here we are then, with one game left to go in this Premier League season and one game left to go afterward, the Champions League final against, I don't know if I revealed who it's against yet, but it is Barcelona. Yes, they will be the team we face in the Champions League final. We are looking to go for our second ever Champions League and our 4th straight Premier League title. That would be unreal. I'm pretty confident no team in Premier League history has ever won 4 in a row. I definitely know that there's been 3 wins in a row, but never 4. And I don't even know about in the history of the top flight of England. No one might have ever won 4 top flight, like the league 4 times in a row. Could we be the first? All we need is a point. And even if we lose today, Manchester United, if they drop points, then that should be fine. But they do have the high goal difference, so let's just make sure that we seal it today. We won't try to rely on anyone else. All we need is a point. Come on, we're at home. It's set for us. Let's get out there. Let's do it. I don't want to rest anyone. We've got a week-long break till the Champions League final, so it should be fine. Putting my strongest team out there to secure this Premier League title. Again, looking at the goal difference, if we were to lose today and United were to win, they would overtake us on not points but goal difference, the fact that they have a higher goal difference than us. So that is exactly why we have to get at least a point. Although I don't want to have that mentality. I'm going to try to go out and beat the team as I always do. Let's do it. Come on. Even a point. Even a point is good, but let's see if we can get this victory and seal this Premier League title on a high. Or with a win. That'd be ideal. Don't know how he has got that ball to Talisca, but okay. Now we knock it forward for Mbappe. And I tell you what, we've got the numbers. This might get blocked. Oh, I hope it did. Otherwise, Neves has just blown it wide. Oh, my fucking God, he's just missed from there. Are you kidding me? Ah, Tim Weah! It's like day one FIFA 19 stuff right there. What a goal that could maybe seal the Premier League title. Took a bounce on the way in, but Tim Weah had the space to pull it off, and he went for it, and he's gone and hit the side netting, beaten Mvogo with a stunning bicycle kick. There you go, the gap was there. Sane nearly got in the way. One of my own teammates nearly got in the way of Weah as he was going for the bicycle kick, but despite all that, it finds a way in. There we go, after 15 minutes of relentless pressure on Watford's goal, finally we score. Where was the clearance? Oh, fuck off! Come on. Where was it? I was pressing B and he just chested it down Laporte instead of booting it out. As a result of not clearing the ball properly. What is that? What is that? Come on. And Oblak, that's been hit pretty hard, but it's right at you. How have you not gotten in the way of this? Please. I don't understand. 2 minutes about a time. We've got to go pretty quick here. And I think we are going to get this attack. Well, just about anyway. Low ball. No, fucking picked out Izzo perfectly. Oh, but Mbappe! Oh, the fucking woodwork. Maybe we'll still get a chance. Neves won't get there. Oh, God. We could have. Very well could have. And surely we're not going to get this. No, thank you. I was about to say, that's impossible. How am I still getting this attack? But we could have even taken the lead back right there. He took an extra touch there. I was hoping to just bang it forward for Weah. Didn't happen, though. We've got some options here. Neves. Little fake shot, hoping to open up the angle, and it's worked! It's worked! Neves! The captain puts us back in front. He didn't have a good start to this game, but you beauty. It's 2-1 now. And there we go again. They've dedicated a lot of numbers up here, haven't they? You better believe it, they have. Mbappe! Save Mvogo! The goal's gaping, and it's in! It's Weah 3-1! This is the Premier League title, sealed and delivered. It doesn't matter what the score with Manchester United and Everton is anymore. I'll stop looking for updates because we have just sealed our 4th straight. Sane is going to be in here. Yep, he's going to break away. I can see Mbappe. He's not going to get there though, so I'll try to find Talisca. Talisca, he's there! And in off of the post! Another deflection. I think that's almost come off a Weah. I'm not sure. It definitely took a bounce on the way through and then hit the post and went in. 4-1. Now we're celebrating. 3 minutes of stoppage time has been added on, all of which has pretty much ticked down. We are just about done here. That is that. Premier League season is done, and it's 4 in a row. It is history, never been done before in at least the Premier League era, maybe not ever in the history of English top flight football. 4 league titles in a row. Can you believe it? It had to go down all the way to the last day. Manchester United, had we slipped up, were right there to pick up the pieces and take home the trophy, but it's not going to go to Manchester United. We've gone and done it. Neves technically scoring the deciding winning goal. And he's going to get to lift it up again. His arms are going to be getting tired with all the silverware that he's lifted up. That Premier League trophy is not light, I assure you, but he's got the energy and the strength to lift it up once more for his team. The captain has done it. He delivers, as does the whole team over the course of the season. 4-time Premier League champions. Looks like Manchester United, by the way, didn't even manage to get a point off of Everton. They actually lost to them. So even if we didn't win today, we were always taking home the title. But now our attention shifts to the Champions League final against Barcelona. We went down in the final last season to Real Madrid. Can we hopefully this time get it done against the side from La Liga? And I'm only going to make one change to the starting 11 for the Champions League final. I'm going to have Neves at CDM. I'm going to put Adley in at centre mid. And I've got Jan de Groot at right mid. If I need, I can bring him on for Mbappe. I might even look to probably play him at centre midfield because even though his physical and mental aren't exactly the best, his stamina's not great. The fact his stamina isn't fantastic is a good reason why I don't really start him in a lot of games, but his technical attributes are ridiculous. Absolutely unbelievable. His short passing and all that, like long passing, 99 each, which is why I feel like he'd be brilliant in the middle of the park. Great finishing, ball control, dribbling. So that's why I think he'd be better suited for me as a midfielder. But yeah, I'm going to look to bring him on hopefully at some point if we need him. Dombele's there, Sessenong, Lejao. We're set. We've got about as strong as a team as I could hope for this final. So let's do this then. Barcelona versus Wolves in the Champions League final. Looks like it's being held at the San Siro as well, which, if I can remember off memory, the San Siro in the Champions League has typically been a pretty good hunting ground for me. So let's see if we can do it again. 4-time winners of the Premier League, 4 times in a row. We've now made 3 Champions League finals in a row. And thank you, Barcelona. If we had to face Real Madrid again in the final, I'd be bricking it. I couldn't allow them to beat me twice in 2 back-to-back finals. It would have been a nice opportunity for revenge, yes, too, but nah, let's see if we can at least get it done against this mob. And I wonder what this team is going to look like. They've got some big-name defenders in there already. I know they've got Silum Titi. Gomez is in there. They've got Andy Robertson in there as well. So they've taken a fair few of Liverpool's talent as well. And even Dele Alli's in this side. Of course, Coutinho would be still playing for them too. Let's have a look and see what their starting 11 looks like. So, big names, Dembele obviously still in there. Patrick Catrone returns to the San Siro. Messi's still going. He's on the bench. Puig's gone up to a high enough level that he can start in this game too now. Catrone's their striker. Coutinho, Dembele. And that back 4 is solid. And then you've got our boys, who I am sure are more than capable of making up for our rather disappointing final last season. Let's go. Let's do it. Come on. We're going for 2 Champions Leagues. Let's do it. Oh, there's a massive... They've crossed it in. He's headed it away, Jan Oblak. Or he's punched it away, Jan Oblak. It's fallen to Talisio. Weah's right on the back of him. Can't just kick it away from him. There's a huge gap right up the middle of the park, and he smashes it home from distance. Let's see the punch. Talisio is there. Weah tries to make a tackle. No one can close him down. It's just an open lane to goal. No one's in the way. Weah can't just swing your leg around it. Again, is Weah going to fuck it up for me in the Champions League final? Please not again. 5 minutes in, they've already scored. Are you fucking kidding me? Even if they don't score directly from the cross, they always get it. That's the only way that they fucking get it. Decent ball. Will it get over the top? Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Oh, Weah is there. There it is. We make up for it. A defensive mistake up one end, then another, and Weah makes up for failing to make the tackle on Tolisso. Look at this. It's not dealt with properly by Gomez. He's let it go across his body. And guess who was there? Sane to whip the cross in. Ter Stegen's just stood still. Nothing he can do about this. This is really well placed, just right into the corner. Come on, boys. Immediate response, and we're right back in this final. Here we go. Sane is off. He's off again. I'm going to try a low cross here. Oh, it's found him perfectly. And Adley! And Adley scores! We're up 2-1 in a flash, you beauty! I knew I wanted him in this final, Yassine Adley. He always scores every game, or at least gets an assist. And he was the man that I was trying to pick out. They've actually gone to him perfectly. Takes the touch, shifts it to his left. What a finish. With a defender in front too. That is one heck of a finish. Look, touch with the right. Finish with the left, and just tucking underneath Umtiti and just squeezing in. What a goal. What a player. Fuck me, I love Yassine Adley so much. He is a glorious footballer. Now there's a little flick on it, and he's done it to me again. 2 back-to-back fake shots. Dembele, stop that cross. Get it out of there. Oh, you've given it straight again to Tolisso. We know what happened the last time. We tried a clearance from there. Catrone. How did that get through to him? But over the bar. Tolisso is looking to get snapped. He's their goal scorer. He's the one that always gets the ball back for them. Every time there's like a half and half battle for the ball, he always comes up with it when he's the one involved. He's their man of the match so far for Barcelona, but he has not been able to keep them in the lead all by himself. Everyone else on that Barcelona side has been sort of underperforming. Got to be honest, this hasn't been their best, but they did take the lead very early. We've responded nicely. Just got it through. Will Sane get there first? No. Weah. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Go Mbappe. Is he going to get caught? Is he going to get caught? He might. No, he won't. No, he won't. Mbappe 3-1. And it is some breathing space in the Champions League final. In the end, I cut in once I got into the box. Andy Robertson chased us the whole way, but just still was able to get his shot off, killing Mbappe. And this has been blasted into the roof of the net. Look at this. Right up there. Here we go. Here we go. We might potentially be on for our second ever Champions League. Oh, big turnover. Is he going to get a foot to it though? Weyer, Mbappe, Manolas. How have we had so many plays around that ball, but we didn't come up with it? And I still can't fucking shoot. How didn't we get even a shot off there? And you know what? As far as I'm concerned, this is them admitting defeat. Tolisso is coming off. I think this is over. 3 minutes of stoppage time, and I can hear the fans singing Champione already. It is done. It is finished. We have redeemed our awful, awful Champions League final last season against Real Madrid with a somewhat convincing, but still very, very impressive 3-1 victory over Barcelona. Referee, blow that whistle. It's done. Two-time European champions, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Get in, baby. It's not quite the treble, but it is the Carabao Cup, Premier League, and Champions League. Do we get the number 2 now on the side of our sleeve, or do we have to win a few more? I'm not sure exactly how it works, but I was only in it for the special badges that you get on the side of your sleeve when you compete in the Champions League. But that is that then. I am still happy enough with just this sight alone. Neves, 2 trophies in a week. Can you believe it? And it's the biggest in club football. The Champions League has been won once again by Wolverhampton Wanderers. 2 in 3 seasons. That's not bad. Well, everyone, let's wrap this whole thing up then now that we have taken home and won the last game of the season. Champions League victors once again. Ladies and gentlemen, over the course now of the entire career mode, we have won 4 Premier League titles, 1 FA Cup, 2 Carabao Cups, 2 Community Shields, and now 2 Champions Leagues and a UEFA Super Cup, which hopefully we'll be able to win next season as well. We have still got like 9 more seasons left of this career mode, so I want to see how many titles I can win before we just end up saying goodbye and we retire from this career mode until we reach the 15 season limit. But 51 appearances, top goal scorer with 25, killing Mbappe. Weyer had 14. Yassine Adli in 34 appearances, 11 goals. Wow. You've got Sane, 10 goals, Sessegnon with 8, Bradley Price with 7, and he only made 9 appearances. I've got to give this guy more game time. It's so hard when everyone's so highly rated, but Leão with 6, Talisca, Neves, Gibbs White with 6 as well. We'll take a look at assist leaders as well. We have got Neves with 11. We have Sane with 10 and Kylian Mbappe with 10 as well. Yassine Adli with 8, Talisca with 6, Gibbs White 3. So there's a fair gap between the top 5 assisters and the rest of the comp or the rest of the team, but there you go. We have Alessio Conti and Morgan Price going up by 6 in their overall. That is not too bad. We got a bunch of others going up by 4, a couple by 3 as well. You can see how I've got so many players, reserve and substitute players, that are like no older than 23, 24 years of age. We are set for life. I probably don't have to make another transfer. I think I will make the odd transfer here or there, maybe 1 or 2 a season if need be, if I feel like it, if you guys have suggestions. But honestly, I'm prepared for the rest of this career mode to let my youth academy do the talking. All the players that have super high potentials that I have brought up either only a season or 2 ago or way at the beginning of this career mode, I'm just going to let them take over eventually when some of the other guys in the team start to drop off. But that'll do it for yet another episode and yet another season of the Wolves career mode. Still got 9 more seasons left until we reach the end of career mode. So until the next episode and the next season, my name is MasterBucks. Don't forget, if you haven't already, to like and subscribe, and have a good one.